one of the most fun things I do online on YouTube is the Fairy Tale Rant series. If you guys haven't seen it, it was a lot of fun for me to do. I had to stop doing it because it just wasn't paying the bills, but it is my next Patreon milestone goal. Last year we did the little, the Goose Girl.
Right.
And that was a ton of fun. So this year we're doing the Little Mermaid. Oh. And I am the Little Mermaid. So I like to call these Princess Alethea's Fairy Tale Rant Theater. So it's kind of like Shelley Duvall, only the, snarky Dragon Con style. I have guest starring all of my lovely talented performers here, and my Brute Squad will be my mermaid sisters. If you guys would come up to be my mermaid sisters. Thank you all. You guys give them a round of applause. And Allie is going to be our special guest cameo star at the end. Thank you, Allie, so much. Yay! We have not rehearsed this, by the way, guys, so please forgive us. We're here for you to just be ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Princess Alethea's Fairy Tale Rant Theater presents The Little Mermaid. Deep in the ocean, so deep that the sand is blue and the sun looks like a purple flower, there once lived a Mer King. The Mer King was a widow, but his royal mother helped him look after his 6 daughters. The youngest princess was by far the loveliest, and she was fascinated by the world of humans.
Grandmother, tell me the story about the flowers again, and the smells, and how fishes flutter in the green woods.
They're called birds, silly girl. You are not allowed to see them until you are 15, and I am tired. So stop asking me to fill your head with nonsense.
But 15 is 5 whole years away.
And I'd like 5 whole years of peace and quiet, thank you very much.
As each of the Little Mermaid sisters turned 15, each went on her journey to the surface. They returned with tales of ships and castles and golden skies and lightning. But the novelty had soon worn off, and each sister eventually returned to her home in the deep.
Really, little sister, I don't know what you find so interesting about it in the long run.
Life here is way better. Everyone should live here, even the humans.
It's so much better. You wrote a song about it.
Let's all hold hands and sing your new song.
What is that lovely sound? It's the wind, Captain. Watch out for those rocks.
None but dead men ever entered the Mer King's palace.
You fish butts are so full of it. I'm gonna be 15 next year, and I'm gonna love it. That's totally my teenage little boy.
When the Little Mermaid turned 15, she swam to the surface in time to witness a handsome black-eyed prince celebrating his 16th birthday on the deck of a ship.
Even though I've never seen a human before, I'm a really good guesser of ages.
That night, a terrible storm blew up and dashed the ship to pieces. The prince would have drowned had it not been for the Little Mermaid. She pulled him up, unconscious, and kept his head out of the water. Are you guys going to act that out or what? She did not know CPR, so she just kissed him a lot. When she finally spotted land, she dragged him ashore for a bunch of other young women to find, and then hid behind some rocks.
Look, girls, it's the handsome prince, Dibs.
Thank you for saving me.
Seriously?
The Little Mermaid swam home, but she had become obsessed with the prince. She told her story to all her mer friends and her sisters, who often swam up to the castle to watch the prince in person. They watched him sailing and fishing and sometimes just sitting on his balcony.
Jeez, do you ever get that feeling that you're being watched?
Only by you, sir.
By this time, the Little Mermaid's obsession had progressed beyond stalking. Her grandmother tried to counsel her.
I want to be with him. Can I be with him? I don't care if he doesn't know I exist. I can't live without him. That's it. I'm gonna drag him down here to live with me forever. I don't care if he's dead.
Now, dear, humans and mermaids can't even be together in death. When a human's short, little puny life ends, his soul ascends to a happy, beautiful place. A place we will never see. Because though mermaids live for 300 years, we have no souls. When we die, we become nothing but foam on the waves, never to live again. It's great.
Gee, thanks for the pep talk, Grandma.
Okay, if a human happens to fall in love with you, and love you above all else so much that he shares a part of his soul with you, then you might be able to share that human bliss, maybe. I don't actually know because it's never happened.
He will be mine! We will be together forever!
You don't even have legs, dear.
Tiny, insignificant detail!
That's nice, dear. You'll be singing at the ball later?
Yes, Grandmother.
That evening, the Little Mermaid sang at the ball with the most beautiful voice of all. But instead of going home afterwards, she went to the slimy, boggy turf moor of the enchantress. She bound up her beautiful hair so that the worms would not catch it, as they had caught many skeletons of living things before her.
Let me guess. Legs, love, and an immortal soul. How am I doing?
Please, 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 pretty please, with sugar on top.
First, I have to read you the disclaimers.
This is going to be really, really painful. It will never stop being painful. You will never be able to become a mermaid again, and unless you are married by a priest, you will never have an immortal soul. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Legs down, please. And if he happens to marry another woman, you will turn into foam on the sea in less than 24 hours. He will have no one but me.
He doesn't even know you exist.
Tiny, insignificant detail. All right then, let's discuss payments. I have to use my own blood for this, you know, it's not an easy spell. You can have anything. Fine, I'll take your voice. Anything but that. Too late, I've named my price. But without my beautiful voice and its magical thrall, how will I seduce the prince?
I'm sure you'll think of something.
Now, stick out your tongue. You're gonna cut out my tongue?
How else did you think we were going to do this?
Sing.
Voiceless, the Little Mermaid swam past her house one last time. Then she pulled herself ashore beside the prince's castle and drank the enchantress's magical potion. The transformation was so painful that she passed out. When she awoke, she saw her black-eyed prince standing over her.
Hello, naked girl. Here, let me help you.
The prince took the Little Mermaid home to the castle. He introduced her to his parents. He clothed her and fed her and danced with her. He taught her to ride and climb. He spent almost every waking minute with her, but never looked on her as more than a pet project.
You know, you remind me of a young maiden. My ship sank on my birthday last year, and this maiden found me on the shore. I saw her only once, but my heart will love no one else. It was she who saved me. I will never forget her face. It is burned into my memory. Yes, like I said, you remind me of her. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go marry the beautiful princess of the neighboring kingdom. You can come along if you want.
And so the little mermaid ventured with the prince to meet his princess, who, as it turns out, was the same girl who found him on the shore.
It's you!
I told you I called dibs.
I am so happy. This is the happiest day of my life. You must rejoice with me in all my happiness.
But the little mermaid did not rejoice. She sat on the deck of the ship and looked out to sea where her sisters were waiting.
Hey, little sis.
We went to see the enchantress. She says you can be a mermaid again.
All you have to do is stab the prince in the heart with this before dawn.
Easy, right? You're welcome.
See you soon.
Holding the knife in her trembling hand, the little mermaid stood over the bed of her beloved prince. She kissed his forehead, and though he whispered the name of his fiancée, she knew he was dreaming of her. She knew then that she could not take his life, so she threw herself into the sea. As she felt her body dissolve into foam on the waves, she heard voices whispering to her.
Dear little mermaid, we are the daughters of the air.
Where my other daughters at? I don't even know where y'all are.
We found a loophole for your whole lack of an immortal soul thing. If you'd like to become one of us and fly invisibly around the world for 300 years, we can get you into heaven. Yeah.
The little mermaid, having had a similar experience with the enchantress, assumed there was a catch.
But there's a catch. Every time a child is happy and smiles, it will take 1 year off your sentence and get you 1 year closer to heaven. But every time a child is naughty and cruel, you will remain heavenless for 1 year longer. Got it?
Seeing no other choice, the little mermaid accepted the daughter's terms. So remember, children, to always be nice and kind and generous. Because every time you are naughty, the little mermaid has to wait another whole year to get into heaven, all because of you.
Whoa, hold up! How exactly did this become my fault?
The end.
I had so much fun writing that.